We have recently obtained a 91 BMW K100 LT. It is a 4-cylinder fuel-injected 987cc engine that originally is supposed to make 90 horsepower. Doesn't run because it's been sitting outside for a while. We thought it'd be cool to turn it into a cafe racer, but first we have to see if it runs. So first thing we did was took the gas tank off of the bike and cleaned it and took everything out of it, including the fuel pump and the fuel filter and all of the fuel line and vent hoses and the fuel sending unit.
Why do you have epoxy?
Well, we got epoxy because we got everything back in the fuel tank and everything was ready to go back and finally ready to see if it actually started at all. And guess what? There were holes in the aluminum fuel tank.
How do we fix it?
Well, you know, that's a great time to talk about our sponsor, JB Weld. It is perfect for, today I used the water weld. It is perfect for fixing gas tanks and any other odds and ends that you might have because it is fuel resistant and it will bond to almost any material. All right, back to our
You can, JB Weld, you can send the check to
this address. Hey, this is Ben from the present. We cranked on and off over the course of an hour. It almost wanted to start. Eventually a vacuum cap blew off the cylinder 1 intake and a bunch of dirt blew out of my face. A valve was sticking, there was obviously dirt down in there. To remove the throttle bodies so we could see down into the head, we had to pull the entire frame off. What we found was that cylinders 1, 2, and 3 were filled with some kind of corrosion, something that looked like white crystally powder. It was in the airbox all the way down into the cylinders. It was a mess. So I took off the head, took all the valves out, cleaned everything, lapped the valves, put it all back together. Much easier said than done. But the climber manual was my friend. Oh yeah, and the injectors were totally trashed too. So far, we bought a filter for the fuel pump, an eBay head gasket, a set of injectors, also eBay, a new air filter, and some valve cover bolt seals. After the head was cleaned, I put everything back together, cams, timing chain, throttle bodies, airbox, and filter. Last week, we put the frame back on, hooked all the wires back up, and it was finally time to see if it was worth it. It's gonna turn on. Oh. Okay. Oh yeah, the kill switch works. Ready?
Ready. Give a little gas.
It works.
All right. Now that it runs, now what?
Okay, the radiator has to go back on, make sure nothing's leaking there, and I can guarantee that it will leak from the water pump.
Optimism.
Yeah. I am positive the water pump is going to leak. The muffler has to go back on, it's really loud.
It's kind of cool though, huh?
It's too loud.
All right, so water, radiator, get coolant in it, exhaust on, then what?
Then make it idle, and then put all the fairings back on and ride it.
I don't know if you need all the fairings back
You
on
do.
to ride it. Okay.
BMW's slogan is "Joy of the Ride." They made a decision at the factory.
All right, well, seems like your mechanic skills are a success.
I guess. I mean, you showed me how to do everything, so maybe your mechanic skills are a success.
I didn't really. The climber manual was the real hero.
Oh, so I'm good at reading.
Lots of people can read, not everybody can cook.